Welcome to PESTEL-Driven Strategic Choices, where external forces feed directly into decision-making. This visual shows the 6 PESTEL dimensions: political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal, all channeling into a central strategy node, reminding us that robust strategy starts with disciplined external scanning rather than isolated internal assumptions. This slide contrasts PESTEL with SWOT to highlight perspective. SWOT looks inward at strengths and weaknesses, while PESTEL forces you to externalize risk and context. Missed external signals often turn into surprise threats, so PESTEL surfaces risks and SWOT converts them into concrete actions, preventing plans that rely only on what the firm controls. This page explains how qualitative signals become quantitative inputs for modeling. For political factors, we scan policy, stability, and trade shifts, and for economics, we track GDP, inflation, and rate moves, then translate those signals into forecast adjustments. For example, a tariff shift might raise input costs by about 8%, while an interest hike could reduce consumer spending by roughly 5%. Social and technological forces move in waves that reshape demand and cost structures. On the social side, aging workforces and lifestyle shifts like plant-based trends create new customer segments and service needs. On the tech side, AI democratization and 5G rollout redefine cost frontiers and enable new products, so we treat these waves as both strategic opportunity and operational risk. Here we focus on environmental and legal drivers, showing how they create both costs and revenue enablers. Climate risk mitigation and circular economy shifts drive transition costs, but also spawn premium green segments and renewable opportunities, while legal change raises compliance costs, yet rewards firms that secure IP and contractual advantages for market access. The first step is to define a tight charter and assemble a cross-functional team. Start with a clear objective, boundaries like time horizon and geography, and a measurable success metric, then bring market, R&D, finance, legal and sustainability into the core team. Narrow scoping prevents data overload and mixed metrics, making analysis faster and more actionable. Good PESTEL rests on defensible evidence, so we gather from OECD and IMF data, national statistics, ESG reports, think tanks and industry publications, then evaluate quality on recency, source credibility, and methodological transparency. Apply a triage rule, for example. Discard data older than 5 years and less validated by 2 independent sources to keep analysis rigorous and reproducible. Prioritization uses an impact versus uncertainty matrix to filter trends for scenario planning. Low-impact items sit at the bottom for monitoring, while high-impact, high-uncertainty trends become scenario drivers to plan around. The graphic flags an example like a rising carbon tax in the top right, indicating it should trigger detailed scenario development and monitoring. Scenario planning starts by mapping key uncertainties such as regulatory speed and technology adoption, then populates a scenario logic matrix with 4 plausible worlds across low-high adoption and slow-fast regulation. Those worlds are consolidated into testable narratives, for instance, green boom, tech stagnation, and regulatory whiplash, each with estimated GDP deltas and market size ranges for stress testing options. To evaluate strategic options, we run them through each scenario and record metrics like NPV, payback, and risk exposure, then score and rank options in a scoring table. This process reveals no-regret moves that perform well across worlds and helps prioritize capacity, expansion, new product lines, or M&A based on consistent scoring thresholds rather than intuition alone. Make PESTEL ongoing by linking scanning into business rhythms, an annual strategy refresh, quarterly risk board reviews, and monthly treasury hedging. Each cycle updates the strategic plan, risk assessments, and financial exposure management, with KPIs such as the number of high-impact trends with assigned owners, percentage of risks with action plans, and days between shock identification and executive briefing. Execution fails when teams fall into checklist thinking, confirmation bias, data dumping, or siloed ownership. So institute disciplined countermeasures, rotate a devil's advocate, run pre-mortem scenarios, produce one-page syntheses, and assign an executive sponsor from a different function. Always test readiness with a simple question. If a trend hits tomorrow, can we name the owner, trigger, and response within 24 hours?